Hey, it's AJ from Agentic Builders. Now, if you're trying to automate a part of your business, there's tons of tools out there. But how do you actually build something that works better than a human? Let me walk you through our approach and a real automation we built for a link building agency. See, most people start by throwing ChatGPT a problem. And that usually gives you a surface level output. So if you want something truly useful, you need like a structured, logical way to approach it with feedback loops already built into the system. So in this video, I'm going to break down some of those core principles and walk you through a live workflow example. So let's start with the right tools. Something like n8n.com is perfect because you can break down your process step by step. If one part breaks, you can zoom in, fix it, and keep everything else intact. You can see step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, so many different steps. It tells you exactly where the errors are, so when there's errors, you can fix it. Second principle, don't be over-reliant on AI. Now, AI can be extremely powerful, but it can also cut corners. If you've ever tried to use ChatGPT and you try to get an answer, you know that it gives you the simplest possible answer, even when the actual answer you want requires a lot more research. So you have to anticipate that when building your system. The third core is building in automated feedback. So if the AI gives you something weak, you have to hold it accountable. And you can build that kind of flow within n8n where it gives accountability feedback so the output you get is actually something you want. Finally, team access is critical. You have to build an automation where your team is going to use it. For us, that meant using something in Telegram. For you, that could mean Google Sheets or Slack. Whatever it is, accessibility is key. You build the greatest automation in the world, but no one uses it. What's the point? So that aside, let's look at a real life example. What we did is we built a Telegram chatbot. And we have a link building agency that wanted us to build a bot that helps their team better do link insertion style link building. What their team was originally doing is they'd go to ChatGPT, they would take the paragraph that they want to update with a link, drop it in, and then ChatGPT would give it some text to update. What was happening is that the text inserts were usually nonsensical. They weren't really making sense, and no blogger was going to approve them. So they ended up doing it manually anyway. And a lot of their team was from non-English speaking native countries, so it was just a difficult process for them to do. So we redesigned the process without changing the process. Instead of going to ChatGPT to fill out that information, they just go to a Telegram chatbot. They type in the same exact request, and then we go through a series of steps and we get an output. What we created in n8n was a 5-step process. Step 1 starts with retrieving the content of the target website. You can see here it says website content retrieval. If we match that up to our n8n workflow, we're talking about this initial step right here, Apify scraper node. We're simply scraping the content, getting a summary, and giving that context to the AI so it can make a better insertion. So now it goes on to the next step, which is link insertion generator. You can see Telegram is now giving an update that the website is analyzed, and now it's creating a natural link insertion suggestion. Now, after it creates that insertion, what's important to realize is we don't get the output of that insertion. What it says instead is that it's refining that insertion to improve naturalness. What that means in the n8n workflow is that we're passing it through a first feedback loop, and we're simply sharing it this prompt that says, this feels random and forced. You need to work on it and improve it. So then the AI refines it, but guess what? That second output is still not that good. So we go through another feedback loop here in our second feedback node, and we basically say, reiterate some things and then add in some new insights and continue to coach it. Specific questions like, does it provide necessary context? Is there a reason for this link suggestion to exist? And then the final output you get is actually quite good. I'm not going to read it here. You could read it if you want. You'll see that it's quite integrated into the link, and it's quite integrated into the article, and it makes a lot of sense. So in general, what makes this kind of flow powerful is that it isn't just one clever prompt. It's a sequence, it's a structure, and it takes an average AI output and it turns it into something that'll pass editorial review. Because it's automated, the team doesn't need to know how it works. They drop the request into Telegram, they get a polished suggestion, simple as that. And then the power of n8n is that you can take this workflow, you can create additional workflows on top of it, you can integrate workflows. This is a link building agency, we could automate almost every step of the link building process, with the right approach, organization, and so on. To me, that's the benefit of creating these kind of systems and not just relying on ChatGPT prompts, is that you can turn it into automated long-term systems for your business. In this case, we're using DeepSeek chat for the client, so it's dirt cheap. This entire thing probably took less than a penny to run. With this output, that same level of English-speaking expertise would cost hundreds of dollars. So yes, that's the power of not just building these workflows and connecting dots, but it's thinking in a way where your output is actually going to be good. Because I promise you, I've watched those videos too with tons and tons of different squares and connections and people talking and hyping about AI is going to solve all your problems. But the reality is that business is way more complicated than that. So instead of trying to zoom out and solve your entire business, you need to go step by step by step by step by step. So I hope that gave you some ideas for your own workflows. This is AJ from Agentic Builders. Now, if you've got a process that's messy, manual, or slow, and you know it could be automated, but you're not sure how, hit us up, agenticbuilders.com. It's literally what we do. We've got a form on our contact page, fill it out. I'll be publishing more YouTube content like this that's showing you the different possibilities, talking about the latest and greatest, but we're not focused on hypes. I'm not focused on views. I'm not focused on clicks. We're operators who are focused on solving real world business problems. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love to hear from you. No pressure, no hard pitch, just smart automation done right. Thanks for watching. I'm AJ, agenticbuilders.com.